Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Hellions, and welcome back to Potter to Hell podcast. I'm your host, BC, tonight, so if you're not sitting down, please sit down. To my left over here, on the keys tonight will be Steve.
What's up?
And taking away the keys on my other half is Dylan.
Yep, I'm letting you guys have the reign here. I just figured I'd stop by for the beginning, make sure everything's going well, and then let you two run the asylum for a bit.
I'm like Jordan Rudess taking over the keyboards on fucking Dream Theater.
So I'm the Derek Sherinian of.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I'm in Black Country Communion. That's cool.
Leave your shirt on. He likes to take his shirt off a lot. We're good. No shirts and skins tonight.
At least I'm not Kevin Moore, right?
That's right. God, that's way back.
I don't know him.
That's
hey, listen,
when Dream and Day unite.
The keyboard players. That's the most of my fucking Dream Theater knowledge. Well, I know the two drummers. I know Mike Portnoy and I know Mike Mangini. Mangini? Okay, well, them two I know. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, I know John Young and John Petrucci, of course, but like they're the only, you know what I mean? That's the deepest trivia that I know about Dream Theater.
All right, so how's it going? What have you guys been up to? Steve?
Good. Everything's good. I went to see Queensryche the other night up in Peekskill, New York. And it's crazy. Our buddy Uncle Steve from Uncle Steve's Iron Maiden Zone flew from Texas. He pulled a BC. He flew from Texas to New York. Met me for the show up there. Finally, I've been on his podcast a couple times, and we'll have to get him on here, of course. And he flew up there. We met. Cool guy. We had some pizza before the show. We were second row for Queensryche. There was two opening bands. Black Dawn was the first band. And they were like a cross between like Clutch, Devil's Train, Pantera, and Alice in Chains was like what I kind of got from those guys. They were good. Their sound, they didn't sound great, and when they were playing, I'm like, I really hope that the next band sounds better, like sound wise. I mean, the music was cranking though. Like, they were good, real good band. They were cool. Then they went off and Hitman came on, and they must be a popular New York band or something because the friggin' pit was full of people taking fucking pictures, like press people taking pictures at the beginning of the show. And so they're from the 80s, I guess, and I'd never heard of them. And they had a big following there, and they were good, and they were like reminded me of Sabotage. I sent you the one song. We're gonna talk about that in a little while. I thought they were good, and they did sound better. So they must have had a boost in the PA or whatever. I don't know. The only thing that sucked is they had there was like the one guy on like looking at the stage on the left playing like a Charvel type guitar, and he sounded great, but his guitar went off for a little bit, and the other guy, he had a Flying V, and they were dual guitar players, but like the guy with the Flying V, you couldn't hear him. He was like so low. I wanted to tell him turn this guy up because he tore it up, but you couldn't fucking hear it. But they were really good. Like I said, very Sabotage like. The one song, the singer forgot the words, and you can see the one guy with the Flying V is mouthing the words to him, trying to spark a memory in his head. But they were cool though; they were really good. Then Queensryche came on; they were fantastic. It was nice theater up there, the Paramount Theater, one of them old type theaters. Like it looks like way even older than like the Kirby Center. Like real nice though, small. Decent crowd. It wasn't sold out or anything, but we were second row because they had two different tiers of tickets, so you could buy like a $49 ticket and be like 10 rows back or further back, or first 10 rows you get where you get, and it was like $80 for the ticket. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going. So went up front. We were second row, just 2 seats on the end, and they came out fantastic. They played a great set list. I'll read it off. Queen of the Reich, The Warning, Enforce, NM156, Breaking the Silence, BC Song, I Don't Believe in Love, Man the Machine from The Verdict, Walk in the Shadows, The Whisper, Silent Lucidity, Just City Woman, Operation Mindcrime, Needle Eyes, and then they did Eyes of a Stranger went off, came back for encore. They did Take Hold of the Flame, Screaming in Digital, and then they ended up with Empire. Great show. Todd sounded great. The whole band sounded great. I got a lot of cool pictures. I posted some already. And it was the only headlining show that they played. They're on the road with Judas Priest now, and so they had a couple days off. So I'm glad they squeezed that show, and they were supposed to be at the Chance, but they changed it to this one, which worked out better because it's like almost an hour closer for me to go to. And a 2-hour ride up there, not bad. Pretty cool. I got a little jazzed up on the way home. I got a little lost. Even with the fucking GPS.
84, right?
You go 84, and then you hit 17, and then actually it's fun. It's weird because like literally you're on Route 6. And Route 6 literally, for you guys out there, literally goes through our town. But it would have probably taken 3 hours if we just took Route 6 up through. It would have been like Honesdale and all that up the way through there. So, but it was cool. It was a great show, great little venue. And we had a great time. It was great meeting Uncle Steve there from the Iron Maiden Zone. He had a great time. And, we got shooting the shit. And, just like we were long-lost friends. I was hoping BC could have went, but he had stuff going on, couldn't make it. And so that's what's going on with me.
Cool, very cool. Dylan, what do you got going on?
Not much, just living life.
Living the American dream.
Yeah. Just into working from home full time now.
Nice.
So
no commute
Forever.
Yeah. At least with this job. But
right.
Yeah. So that's basically it.
Working in your underwear. Nice.
No, I keep it classy. I have shorts on.
You never know if you stand up.
You never know. What about you? What's up with you?
I guess working. All right. Last week, you guys talked about Blue Oyster Cult. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. We had Dave Borowski on, and that man is an encyclopedia of knowledge with Blue Oyster Cult. He's just rattling off, people that it's like, yeah, he wrote this song, and they sang on this song, and Patti Smith was involved, and just able to pull them from the ether and make it come to life. Really good albums too. All three very different albums. So it was a really interesting era for Blue Oyster Cult to talk about for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I love having Dave on. He's a great guest to have on. Very well spoken. He's our 70s go-to guy. And he loves Blue Oyster Cult. So it was like really nothing for him to prep for this or whatever. And I honestly really had only known the hits and there's no hits on Mirrors on the third album at all.
No.
But other than that, the songs that like Godzilla, Don't Fear the Reaper, shit like that. Like I didn't know any of these songs, but they were BC's got the cowbell out.
Gene Finkel.
But it was enjoyable. It's good to step out of my my comfort zone. I remember way back starting the podcast, I was fuck Blue Oyster Cult, they're whatever, and I was totally, but then you know what, and I gotta, Dylan kind of talked me into it, and actually checking out their The Symbol Remains album from, I think it was 2019. I was like, wow, these guys are good, but you can't quantify their sound. You really can't. You can't put them in a box or a category because there's so many different styles of music that they play, and they have so many different guys writing and composing these songs and different guys singing that it's all over the place. But like we said, the first album was Agents of Fortune, right?
Agents of Fortune, yeah.
And that was kind of an all over the place album.
Yeah, because each person was bringing in a kind of different sound with their songs,
right?
And it didn't come together as well.
But for the other two, it seemed to come together better.
Lot better meshed.
And we did the live album with them, Some Enchanted Evening. It slipped my mind real quick there.
Amazing
Fantastic
album.
live, tight as fuck. I just didn't care. There's like 2 cover songs on there, but they rocked them up though. They rocked them up. So real good. I had a real good time doing that. And actually, I have Dave coming up on an episode this summer too. So we'll have Dave back before you know it.
Cool. Okay, Dylan, you want to talk a little bit about the Grammys?
Yeah, the Grammys, the 64th Annual Grammy Awards were broadcast last week from when we were recording. Of course, none of the rock categories were on the broadcast. They were announced
Why
before.
would they start now?
And actually, the only rock band that was scheduled to play were Foo Fighters, but Taylor Hawkins passed away. So instead, they did like a little tribute video for Taylor Hawkins to My Hero, which was very like right before the in memoriam section. So that was a really touching. But some of the winners, Foo Fighters, swept their categories that they were in. They got nominated for Best Rock Performance for Making a Fire by Foo Fighters. You know, they beat out A Shot in the Dark, AC/DC. Chris Cornell's cover of Nothing Compares to You, live song from Black Pumas, and a song from Deftones. They also won Best Rock Song, Waiting on a War. They beat out Weezer, Dad's favorite band.
Thank God.
Kings of Leon, Paul McCartney, and Mammoth WVH, the only other. They were nominated for... Wolf was nominated for Distance. He looked good on the red carpet. Did you see him?
I saw a picture of him and his girlfriend and his mom, I
Yeah.
think.
He looked good.
Yeah. Well, they just canceled the rest of their tour with... Was it Dirty Honey?
Yeah, I think so.
With Dirty Honey, because COVID issues with some of the groups or something like that. So
That's rough.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters also won for Best Rock Album, Medicine at Midnight, beating out AC/DC's Power Up, Black Pumas, Chris Cornell, and Paul McCartney. But then, don't worry, BC, Dream Theater won for Best Metal Performance of The Alien, beating out Deftones, Gojira, Mastodon, and Rob Zombie. So those are the relevant categories for us on the podcast. That, you know, all four of them. All four of them.
And it's cool because I even actually know that song.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's the opening song on the last album, right?
It is. Yes.
Yeah, it was good. John Petrucci
Produced-
accepted the award.
Produced by your boy, Andy Sneap. That song.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, that song was, he either mixed it or he produced it, but that was
Okay,
the one song he had involvement with.
Andy Sneap.
Yeah. So that's Grammy Watch. We'll have some more Grammy stuff coming up in an episode not too long from now.
Episode near you.
Yep.
Coming up. Alrighty. What's everybody listening to, Steve?
All right. I got a bunch of stuff. Queensryche, obviously. I rocked the hell out to those guys. I actually wrote something down, but I can't even tell what the fuck it says. I don't know what that says. Oh, I think that just says listening. Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, it looks like listening.
Queensryche, obviously, listened to a lot of Queensryche stuff, getting ready for the show and stuff like that, and on the way up. I've been going through my Priest vinyl catalog lately. I put on Rock-a-Rolla, what I could stomach from that album. There's a couple ones on there like not great, but I got up to about halfway through Turbo so far, and it was weird because when I put on Point of Entry, half the songs on there I'm like I must not have heard them in years, and I mean like more than 10 years ago, because you only hear Heading Out to the Highway and you hear Desert Plains, which Desert Plains is like a top 3 pre-song for me. But there were some on there there was some good stuff. There was one on there that I was like, what the fuck is this? But I couldn't even tell you the name of it because it was so bad. But different album for Priest, but it was cool listening to them. And I checked out my boys Wolf I think they're from Sweden. They put out a new album. It's called Shadowland. It came out it'll be 2 weeks when you guys are listening to this. Real good. I've always been an advocate for these guys. You'll have to check it out, BC. Real good. Some Queensryche, some Priest, and Wolf, Shadowland.
All right, Dylan, what do you got?
I'm still listening to Foo Fighters, trying to process, Taylor Hawkins. Listening to their newest album, Medicine at Midnight. Well, their newest under Foo Fighters album, Medicine at Midnight. Of course, their newest album is Dream Widow, and the one before that was the DGs. But Medicine at Midnight's one I think is going to probably grow on me a little bit.
It's under a different name, though, right? It's under that...
No, I'm saying that I was listening to the one that was under their name.
Oh, okay.
The one that won all the Grammys.
Okay. Not the new one.
Not Dream Widow, no. That one's fantastic.
Well, because I was looking through and I'm like Dream Widow, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
And it was that.
It's fantastic.
But
it's
I
a really good
forgot
metal
that
album.
you said that it was underneath the name of that.
I think it still pops up if you're on their artist page, like it'll be there for that. But I recommend that. I think that's easier for fans of this podcast to get into more than Medicine at Midnight, I would say, because Medicine at Midnight's a little poppier,
Right.
But still both I think really good albums in their own right.
Have you have you checked out? I may even have asked you on the last episode the new Ice9 Kills song.
Oh yes, I did. That they wrote the song for PUBG, I think, the video game. It's basically the first game that brought the battle royale games to the popularity that they're in today. It's okay. It's not.
It wasn't like it was as good as one of the album tracks.
Yeah. It sounds like it sounds like it's a song that they wrote for a video game.
Right, but there's not as much screaming shit in there either.
It's decent.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not one that's going to be on my playlist all the time, but yeah, it's not bad.
Alrighty. Well, I've been listening to. I was listening to Queensryche, The Verdict. Kind of getting in the mood, but never made it. D. Snyder's latest one I was listening to past few days.
That's good.
It's
I like
good,
it.
but not as good as the first one, I don't think.
I like
They're a lot of it's lacking something. I can't pinpoint it yet. And of course, I've been listening to a lot of our tonight's episode. And we'll find out that in a minute. So we got Steve listening to the Queensryche, getting ready for the show. They went to Judas Priest and Shadowland. Dylan's still absorbing Foo Fighters. And of course, I had D. Snyder and Queensryche and some other band. All right, so that brings us
in 2 minutes.
I'll leave you guys to your subject. Have fun.
Dylan's bailing. He said, "You guys are on your own now."
I'll text you when we're wrapping up so you can finalize the recording.
Yeah, text me if you need me. Keep moving the mouse.
I will.
Take it easy, everybody. Good seeing you. I will see you next time, but there will be a next time. Blah blah blah. All that.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good night.
You too.
Alrighty. So that brings us to tonight's episode. Me and Steve are going to touch base and talk about a band that we really don't talk about too much on this podcast. But we're going to delve into their first two albums. The band is Lillian Axe from New Orleans. And just to touch a little base on this band, Steve Blaze, which is still is the only, not the only original, but him and the current bass player now are the only original two from back in the day. Before anybody knew of these guys. But he was in the band Oz in the New Orleans area, and the band, one guy quit in the band and then it blew up, so him and the other guy went to another band and they started playing, and that's kind of where the foundation of Lillian Axe started, but not the one that everybody knows yet. But they started playing around and some of the guys weren't working out, and going back to where Steve came up with the name Lillian Axe, he was watching the movie Creepshow, and some scene in the movie where this ghost comes in through and something, and it hit him, and the light bulb went on his head, and that's where the name Lillian Axe came from. So down on the road through many changes, and they got different vocalists, which will come up later in this episode, Johnny Vines, and then he was gone, and then there was another band playing the circuit too, Stiff, which had Ron Taylor, John Steer, and Rob Stratton. Their band was kind of doing good, but were mainly playing covers, and they wanted to do something more than that. So they branched away, and then Steve came on board with their drummer, Danny Keene. And that's where you get the foundation of Lillian Axe from in 1987, this was. Which then they came out with their debut album in 1988. Which brings us, the first album we're going to talk to is their self-titled album, Lillian Axe, in 1988. So again, they're playing the circuit now as this 5-piece, and somehow Marshall Burrow,
Milton Berle's
Merton Burroughs, what have you seen?
Either son or nephew, grandson, I think.
Grandson or something. He got they caught the eye of this Marshall guy.
He's the guy that hooked Brad up.
Pretty much. So, and this is a rat tie-in. So he hooked him up, and I guess he knew people at MCA. So he said, "Hey, I'll get you guys in with MCA if you let Robin Crosby, guitar player Rat, rest his soul, produce the first album." Which, I mean, any band coming up is going to say, "Fuck yeah."
Oh, yeah.
Guy from Rat's going to produce our first album? Let's do it. And so the first album came out June 6th of 88. Produced by Robin Crosby or Rat, which to me you can tell because it's the guitars are very compared to the later albums. Anyways, comes in just a little bit over 41 minutes.
Good length for an album.
Good length for a first album back in the day. Try to read my own writing. It's pretty bad when you can't read your own writing. Alrighty, so
your pain.
the album's going to open up with I think it was their first single off the album too, "Dream of a Lifetime," which starts off with the key / synthesizer sound. It was big in the mid to late 80s. Then all you hear is alarm clock, and it kicks into the opening guitar riff. And then, to me, I mean, Ron Taylor's vocals to me makes this band. So as soon as he starts singing, I'm into it. And there's always a lot of Ron, back in the day when they were together, Ron and Steve Blaze's harmonies, which is a distinctive Lillian Axe sound. So tear through this song, and then the Steve Blaze solo is very melodic, very key. I think he's such a very underrated guitar player. So that takes off the first song. Then it goes right into Inside Out, which would be track 2, which opens it with a more heavier, not grinding, but heavier riff for compared to the first song. Into the riff. During the verses, they have the group vocals, which I think is really cool. You can hear the ride cymbal in the back of that, but you can't hear it good enough. It's very faint, which if you're me...
you blame Robin Crosby for that.
I blame him.
He's
for
not
it.
going to crank the drums
He's
up. He's going to crank the guitars up.
That bastard. So, I mean, hey, I like the background vocals in the chorus. I mean, another song has a good... The solos aren't... There's not too many solos that are very long in this album, but they're very fitting, I would say. I like the drum part after the solo where it comes down into it and the group vocals inside out. But hey, that's the 2 good songs to me right off the bat. Track 3 is gonna be "Vision in the Night." To me, it's I don't know. It's very probably like more radio-ish, I think, out of anything. Smoother start. It has a good riff in it. I like the solo. It kind of starts and it goes into almost like a 2-part. It's like seems like a little solo, then it goes into like a second part of the solo. But I mean, overall, to me, that's one of the weaker songs on the album, personally. Steve's over here looking at me going, I'll tell you something different.
We'll see.
So track 4 is gonna be "Picture Perfect." I love the opening riff on this. It has that that good build up, and it just kicks into it. Again, I'm liking the guitar tone on this album. Second part, I mean, and again, the Nurse solo is very good, but nothing too crazy or long. And then there's like a little solo into the riff back after the solos. I want to say this was, but I don't think they released this. They played this a lot though. Track 5, "The More That You Get." It has a drum and guitar in the beginning. Again, good sounds for the guitar. It kicks into a driving guitar. Woman gets one, she wants more. So sounds like it's about one thing, but they say it's not.
Well, it's like the version like you get Robin Crosby doing like "She Wants Money."
Another short and sweet solo. And I like after the solo, there's the group vocals, and he has a little solo and going underneath the group vocal parts. Pretty cool touches. This is one of their best known songs, I would say. Is "Misery Loves Company." I guess to me it's a killer riff. It has some grinding in it. Ron comes in. After the riff goes back to more grindage. Another killer solo, and then after the solo, there's a lot of guitar parts. Not very pronounced, but you can hear them. Just to me, that's another standout track. Here we are, more than halfway through the album. We got to do it. It's late 80s. You got to do a ballad. You got to do Nobody Knows. Starts off with acoustic and just Ron's vocals. Drums kick in after a little bit. Chorus is pretty melodic, and the solo fits the song, but your typical 80s ballad. Track 8, "Hard Luck." This is like slower tune, not slower tune, but mid-tempo tune. But I really like this. Starts off again with some keys and synth. Mid-tempo riff. Ron's vocal sounds great. Chorus got a heavy riff behind it. And then it has that moody mid-tempo solo. Steve Blaze, come on. Number 9 to be Waiting in the Dark. This song starts off with like echoey drums with a more, like, I guess you would say, darker riff with some keys in it. Guitar kicks in for the chorus with a little double bass, which is, again, you really can't hear it unless you have your headphones on, but it's produced by a guitar player, but that's what you're going to get. There's a little acoustic break into a cool solo part back into the chorus with that drum fill, like. Then they're going to finish off the album on track 10, Laughing in Your Face. To me, they finish strong. It's a more upbeat tune, a cool riff. Then it has the vocals, and then back and forth between the vocals and group vocals. Strong chorus. And it finishes off with another strong guitar solo. But fact behind this album is, like, this album came out and they released like the one single, and then MCA said, you know what, the hell with this. We want you to get in the studio and put another album out. So they really never pushed the first album, which I don't know why they didn't, but welcome to the music business. Give me your take.
Okay. Before I get going, I meant to mention this before. The reason we're doing this is I wanted to come up with a couple ideas for me to give Dylan, BC, and BB a break in the action where they didn't have to have something ready for every week, where this could, you know, BC and I are doing this one. I'm going to do one with everyone, and actually I have a couple ones coming up with a couple other people as well. But I wanted to kind of give these guys a break in the action where for this episode it's going to be me and BC. We're going to go through each band that we do. We're doing different bands with each of us. Dylan's is next, and then BB's. And so what I wanted to do was have us go over a band that we haven't covered a lot of, and Dylan's will be next. So we're going to do 2 albums for each episode. So the criteria was that they need to have at least 8 albums so we could get like at least 4 episodes out of it. And they're going to be spread out, maybe once a month, maybe once every month and a half or something like that, just to give these guys a break in the action where, you know, this week they don't have anything that they need to do. And actually these guys were off last week as well for the Blue Oyster Cult. So I've been trying to incorporate things into the podcast to give these guys a little break in the action. And so this is the first of what it's going to be, the album duo series. I'm not sure if that's what the title of the episode is going to be, but that's just a tentative thing that I have written on there. So and what I wanted to do as well was go in the order of us guys of how we came on the podcast. You know, Dylan was there from day one, and I'm not, you know, putting him like out there, but, you know, initially it was me and BC, and then Dylan joined in, and then BB came down to check it out, and then he wasn't sure what it was going to be, and he really liked it. Then he joined the podcast, so that's why he's going to be the third one that we do. So, and then I have a couple other people that I'm asking to do something as well in this type of realm. So I just wanted to throw that out there just to let you guys know why it's just myself and BC. And actually, it was just going to be me and BC, but Dylan is home tonight. He's usually gone out, so he got me set up and everything like that. And he just wanted to do the first part there and talk about the Grammys, because that was something that was pretty topical that took place last week from when we recorded. And actually, tonight is April 6, 2022. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I wasn't sure what band BC was going to throw out there. I'm like, okay, he's going to say Lizzie Borden, but then I'm like, nah, he probably won't, because that would be too obvious of a pick. And this was one of the bands that I thought he was going to be one of the ones that he was going to pick, and it was. So, and Dylan's is, well, I won't even get into that right now. So I think Dylan's is scheduled for next month. I think, he's scheduled for, I think, June. Anyway, so Lillian Axe, self-titled, 1988. These guys really didn't come on my radar until Psycho-Schizophrenia, pretty much. Like, I knew them. I knew of them. I had heard a couple songs, but they were never a band that I got into really, once BC and I became friends, in probably early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, we really started to hang out and shit. when BC joined the fire department. I mean, I knew him, he knew me, but we weren't hanging out and shit. But and this was one of the bands, and I've talked about it before, that there were certain bands that I was into that you weren't really into, and we kind of traded bands and stuff like that. And this is probably pretty much when I was aware of them, but not really a fan of them. I didn't have any of their stuff at the time, and it wasn't like now where you can just get on your phone and get whatever. But
and I think when we started handing out is when Schizophrenia came out.
Right. So that's probably like 91, 92? 92, yeah. So it's I mean, it was pretty much there. But I mean, we had talked about them before, because I remember the was the Poetic Justice album with the lady with the axe, the old lady with the axe, right? So yeah, I mean, I was aware of these guys. Going back listening to, I had since we've been friends, I had listened to these albums, but I haven't listened to them in a while. So it was refreshing to jump back in to check these two albums out. And and honestly, I was not real like I knew Dream of a Lifetime, I knew Nobody's Home, I knew Picture Perfect, I knew, and we saw them at Monsters of Rock the last one, 2020, for the pre-party. They were really good. I thought they were good. And then we saw them on the Monsters of Rock cruise this year, on the cruise itself, and not so much. But we'll talk about that at another time. And actually, we did hit on that with the Monsters of Rock review as well. So kicks off with Dream of a Lifetime, typical late 80s keyboard synth intro. At least for me, it's part of the song. It's not a separate track. I can't stand it. I hate that shit. You guys know I do. Then you get the alarm clock, and it goes into the main riff, which is really catchy. It's got smooth vocals. The background vocals are great. Really good chorus. Nice choppy guitars. I do like the production on this album. A lot better in the headphones than it is like out of speakers. If you're listening to it in your car or whatever. But headphones, you get a lot more. You can hear a lot more. The solos. Very short, but it's melodic at the start, and it gets a little shredding at the end. They're a good start. Very commercial sounding start. Like this is they want to suck you in with one that you would like maybe hear on the radio right off the bat. Inside Out starts out with a little typewriter. People are like, "What the fuck is a typewriter?" Choppy guitar riff gets this one going. This has more of a dark feel to it. It's good. Good solo. It's got some melodic elements in there. There is some good grindage in this one. Gang vocals are cool in it. Next is Vision in the Night. Good feel to this one. I like the layered vocals in this one. This is where some of the production things that I like come in good to this album. Some call and response back and forth in the vocals. The pre-chorus is really great. There's some keyboard accents in here, and you get them sprinkled kind of throughout the album. There's not like a keyboard player per se in the band, but they're just like studio added in there for accent purposes.
John Steer gets credited for the first two albums as keys.
Should we know who that is or no?
The rhythm guitar player.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
no.
Okay, all right. And finally, there's a good proper solo in this one. Steve Blaze kicks ass on this one. It's one of the longer ones, and I think you touched on it too, BC. That I think that they could have stretched out these, which with Robin Crosby doing it, why would he not do that? You know what I mean? Stretch it out 2 or 3 bars more, because it's only a 41-minute album to start with. So you stretch out 5 solos on here. What are you going to be up to 43 minutes? You know what I mean? How
45?
You know
times.
what I mean? So I don't see any harm of them doing that, which they of course they did not. Picture Perfect, 3/4 tempo rocker on this one. Good guitar tone. Pre-chorus is good. The drums are great. The drums stand out on this one for me. There's some really good lead guitar fills in this one throughout the song as well. There's like a short melodic breakdown that leads into the solo. The solo fucking rips. What you get out of it, it rips. And then it transitions right back to the pre-chorus. Another good song. The more you get drums and like choppy guitar start right, and it starts right into the verse, which I think is very cool. Good heavy song, very melodic chorus, excellent background vocals, another great solo he pulls off here. Lots of production on this one. There's a lot going on in this song. There's layered guitars everywhere. Fun song. Misery Loves Company. This one is a singable chorus that can get in your head for a couple weeks at a time, and it's one of the songs that they're well known for. They've always. I think this has been a staple in their live set as all along. Because I remember when they put out that live album in the late '90s, and it was real good. Remember, I forget what it is. It's like two CDs. Remember when that came out? I can't think of the name of it, but real good. Great grinding song, stomping one once it gets to the verse. Awesome grinding. The chorus is fantastic in this one. Great melodic solos. Got some ripping things in there. Fun song. And it's very true too, because Misery does love fucking company, BC. Nobody knows, like you said, here we are, track 7. You have the obligatory ballad that's in every late 80s album. It's a must-have. This one's okay. The vocals are good. It's not too bad. Pretty melodic. Going on, some good keyboard accents in there, the layered vocals. It's pretty good as ballads go. It's got a really melodic solo in there. It doesn't go crazy on it. We don't get all Yngwie and shit. But as far as ballads go, it's not bad. Hard Luck, I like this one. The keyboards, I get an Aldo Nova feel on this song. The way the kind of keyboards kind of blend in the beginning there. Good start. The song's got a different feel from the rest of the songs in the album so far. Even the guitar tone is different on this song, I think. It's a good song though. The chorus is really good. It's also a darker song too. Short keyboard part prior to the solo fucking rips in this one. Another great Steve Blaze one. This is one of my 2-star songs on this album. You see, Waiting for the Dark. This song, like right off the bat, has an epic feel to it. It goes lower, then you get in a little acoustic part, then the first verse like picks up. The chorus has this urgent feel to it. Great deep track. It goes total acoustic in the middle into a great solo that's melodic to start and then just rips it up at the end, then right back into the chorus. The drum fills are fucking fantastic on it. This one I really liked. I really enjoyed this track because it was kind of a surprise because it kind of had that different tone of a different feel, like a darker feel, like because you kind of get not a really happy, crappy feel to this album up to this point, but it's more, I don't know, I can't even say striper. It's just positive, you know what I mean? But you get a little darker feel on this one, which I didn't mind. It put a good twist in the album, especially so late in the album when you're kind of grooving along to this album, and it's like it's good, and you're like, okay, but then when you get a song like this that's different and darker, I like it. They wrap up the album with Laughing in Your Face. Back to a little lighter bit of a type song on this one. Good upper tempo song. Some good calm response in the vocals. The solo's good once again. That it gets melodic at the end. Good ender. The chorus is good, but I'm not a fan of how this fades out. Like, come on, like just hard ending on this album. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of fading out. If the song fades out like goes down like that, that's no problem. But the solo playing out to the end, like the solo just fades out. I'm not a fan of that at the end of an album. Good debut album, PC. I like it. The production, I really like the production of this one. The only thing this album for me lacks is just like a fucking balls out rocker, like something to just like. I mean, there's some fist pumping songs on here, but not like borderline BC punching me in the face type fucking shit. That you know what I mean? Like you don't get that fucking rocker out there, but I like it. I thought it was good. Good start for them, especially for a debut. And it's weird that they shoved them back in the studio so quick. So I don't know if they saw something or if they got such a good response or it was say like the first couple Kiss albums, like okay, we got to get you right back in the studio. So I don't know, or if they're like, hey, listen, we got better songs. I don't know.
The way they made it sound is just that instead of pushing the album and maybe releasing more than one song off the album, they just said, get in and do us another album.
Like, fuck it, let's just do another one.
Get in there. They didn't really tour an awful lot or anything.
Right. So they really didn't have a lot of support for it. But that's weird, though, because you get a band, if they're not supporting the album, usually you get to the point where they're like, well, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? So it seems odd that they're like, boom, like, okay, you know what? We're going right back in the studio. So, I mean, maybe they had a multi-deal contract and they wanted to get it.
I'm not sure.
It's weird.
From what I read, they came out with the first album. They pushed them back in the studio. They came out with the second album. And then MCA said, we're done with you because, like, your sales ain't meeting what we want. But then you didn't push them.
But you didn't push them enough, yeah.
In the beginning, for the first album, you weren't going to push them for the second album.
Right.
So that was the only 2 albums they did with MCA.
Okay. All right, cool, yeah.
And then that album you were thinking about, Steve, was Lillian Axe Live 2002.
Okay.
And that's
that
the
was
title
good.
of it, Live 2002.
That was good though. I thought that was a real good live album. I have it on CD somewhere here. I think it's a burn CD though.
Alrighty, so that was Lillian Axe's first album, self-titled. So we're gonna hit the
We'll do a little gem song
little
here.
gem song this week, and our gem song this week is going to be from a band we talked about a little bit, Hitman with "Destroy All Humans" from 2020.
The title track. So check it out, and it definitely. We'll talk about what we think it sounds like when we come back from the break, and Dylan is going to play it right now.
Alrighty, there is your gym song, Hitman, Destroy All Humans. Sounds a little familiar, but hey.
I got a Sabotage hit off that.
I got shocked real fast with the Sabotage.
Yeah, they open up with that, and I was like, you get that atmospheric keyboard. I'm like, oh, cool, they got like a keyboard intro, and then that main riff starts. I'm like, these guys are opening up with a fucking Sabotage cover. What the fuck? I couldn't place my finger on what like song it was, but I'm like, that's definitely like a Sabotage riff. And it's funny too because Chris Caffrey was there.
I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't obviously. Oh, he was on that. No, he wasn't on that album, right? Because we're thinking it's from the song "Jesus Saves" from Streets. But it was weird though. I got that hit off of it though. So I wish I knew Chris Caffrey was there. I would have said hello.
Chris, where's Will?
But evidently it looks like he was like just like behind us on the section just over from us too. So and actually there's some good videos out there from that show, and there's actually one where there's a lady filming on the side section just like right from where we were. And she goes up to the stage. She hands Todd her phone and is recording while he's singing. And he's walking along, and you can see me and Steve like, ah. So it was pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that song. Check them out. They're on. I don't know what other platforms they're on, but they're definitely on Apple Music. Hitman, and that's Hittman. One word.
Double T. Alrighty. Let's go into some gems this week. Steve, what do you got?
All right, I just want to throw this song out there. I mentioned it real quick. It was in the Queensryche set list, and it's a crazily underrated rocker of a song. It's a Queensryche song called "The Whisper" from Rage for Order from 1986. Fantastic album. I love now that Jeff Tate is doing Rage for Order in its entirety in his live show. We got to see that on Monsters of Rock Cruise. We got to see about 3/4 of that because we left to go see Courtney's show on the ship. And it's cool, and I got to see him do it at Mount Airy too, do that whole album. So, and Queensryche themselves, they've been busting out songs from there. They've done Screaming in Digital, they do The Whisper, Surgical Strike they've done recently. They always do Walk in the Shadows, but I wanted to throw out The Whisper because it's such a cool rockin' song, and I'll tell you what, it's one of them songs where I thought I knew the lyrics too, and I'm like, I wasn't even fucking close to what the fuck I was singing the other night. But so The Whisper from Queensryche from Rage for Order 1986. That's for me. What do you got?
Cool. I'm gonna stick with the episode tonight. Talk about all the different forms and configurations of Lillian Axe before they were actually Lillian Axe. Back in 2012, Steve Blaze, Michael Max, which is the bass player of Lillian Axe now, and Danny Kane and Johnny Vines, which passed away not too long ago, got back together. They were an early version of Lillian Axe, so they got together and dug up some old songs they had from back in the day and put an album out in 2012 called Rebirth. It's cool. I mean, you can tell they're older songs. You can tell what they came from early 80s.
Right, it has the same feel though, right?
But I mean, a bunch of good songs, and a standout on the album would be Sail Into the Heavens, Circle of Light. It's on Apple Music, so
have to check that out.
Check it out, people. I mean, nothing changed the world, but pretty decent. It's pretty cool to see what it was back then. You listen to it, you feel.
You can tell that's what they evolved from.
Yeah. So that's our gems this week. Steve had The Whisper from Rage for Order, Queensryche. And I had the band Circle of Light with Rebirth. All right, we're going to go down to our second album that we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to be Lillian Axe's Love and War.
All right, I'm going to take the lead on this one. Love and War, released July 20th, 1989. It's a little longer, BC. It's 47 minutes and change. It's produced by Tony Platt. Robin Crosby evidently was not invited back to produce the second album, which I thought he did a good job on it. Drums could have been up there a little more, but maybe he was having Bobby Blotzer flashbacks or something like that. Fuck the drummer, kind of thing, maybe. I don't know. But, okay, starts out with All's Fair in Love and War. Slow stomp with an intense feel. in the intro into the album. It does have a decent build to it. So another one that I don't mind the intro up to it, and it builds right up to the vocal start in it, and it takes a while to get going though. It takes like a minute and 45 to really get going. There's some layered vocals in there, a heavy riff, big background vocals. Once again, taking the cue from the first album. It's pretty much their style with these big choruses and background vocals. I like the choppy guitars during the verses, some really great drum fills, and some cool Zakk Wylde-like pinch harmonics going on here too as well, BC, that we really didn't get on the first album.
Zakk Blaze?
Yeah, really. Unbearded Zakk Blaze. I love the pickup for the pre-chorus. Good start. There's an acoustic and piano play out at the end. Good song, though. She Likes It on Top. Good mid-tempo song. Somewhere of a grittier song vocally, I think, than the first one. And we got that cowbell on this one, BC. Can't beat that there. Some cool lead fills here and there. The solo's really good. Not crazy, but he has some really cool whammy bar shit going on for the second part of the solo. And the play-out solo is really good, too. Diana, time for it to we pump the brakes a little bit here. Mid-tempo ballad-type song. Picks up somewhat for the chorus. The melodic guitar during the verses is pretty cool. Very melodic solo, some more pinch harmonics in there, but I could honestly live without this song. So bye, Diana. Sorry. Down on You. Back to the upper mid-tempo stuff. Once again, these guys seem like they have a plateau of how rockin' they will go on these songs. Another kind of different vocal delivery on this one for me. Excellent pre-chorus. The chorus is cool. Drums are good. The drums are produced a little better on this album, I think. I really like the solo. Has like a running. It's the only way I can really describe it. Like a running feel to it. Solo's great. This is a good one. The World Stopped Turning. This is my double star one here. Mellow star with the acoustic and vocals, which hey, believe me, it's got to get better for me to like it. I like the feel of this one. There's an acoustic guitar feel that's like a flamingo Spanish type feel to it that is actually pretty cool. The song kicks up for the chorus, great background vocals, really plinky guitar playing for the next verse. Like they get that like kind of finger picking type feel to it. This song has a big ass chorus, soaring solo that fits, and I think the solo totally fits this guy, like a soaring type solo for the soaring type feel of this song. A little more Spanish acoustic guitar after the solo, and it goes back into the chorus. I really like this one. There's some ripping guitars as this song freaking plays out. Just Steve Blaze just freaking tears it up. Ghost of Winter, slow, atmospheric synth start to it, like a little, of course it's Ghost of Winter, so you gotta have the blowing wind effects and everything like that, like every other band has done a million times. But it's cool. It fits the song. Another slow starting song to a mid-tempo beat, and the verse, some more layered vocals on there. And at this point, I'm like, these guys really need to ramp this shit up. They really do, because you're losing me a little bit with all this mid-tempo stuff all the time. The vocals are good. There's some cool echo on them, the choppy guitar in parts. It's good, but I want some. I want some rockers from these motherfuckers. Another great solo, but it's really short. They really slammed the brakes on the solo on this one. Very short. My number, and this is another thing in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s. You get the girls giggling on the song. It's, and I was waiting for the zip. Choppy guitar riff, another 3/4 tempo thing going on here. Raspy vocals, good head bobber though. I like the melodic guitar between the verses. Drums are sounding great on this one as well. The solo's not too bad. It's a little boring compared to the rest of the guitar playing on the album, I think. The song's not bad. It's not a skipper, but it's not a favorite. And guys, don't put in a song "She Loves to 69 All Night." I mean, come on. Like, really? All right. I hope she does. Honestly, I do. But I don't know. If we're just trying to show a little, get a little sleaze in there, I guess. It's not bad, but not a skipper, but not a real standout for me. Show a little love. I love the feel of this song. It's got such a cool groove to it. The choppy guitars sound great when it kicks in. More cowbell for BC here. Gets heavy for the verses. Excellent pre-chorus. The chorus is great. This is another friggin' earworm. Show a little love. I love the chorus in this song. I love the feel in it. It's got like a cool, heavy interlude after the chorus, then back into the verse. The melodic solo absolutely freaking kills it. The chorus plays out the song with some really cool lead guitar. playing underneath it. That one is that's another 2-star one for me, BC. I really like that one. Definite earworm, and it's one that's been sticking in my head as well since I've been going back and checking these albums out. Fool's Paradise, hey, a faster riff, more of an up-tempo song, although I don't like the vocal effect on Ron's vocals on this one for some reason. It's weird. The guitars are way out in front on this one, tons of layered vocals. The solo section is fantastic. The riff, then the solo, then the riff, then the solo, kick-ass part, kind of like a back and, like not a lead back and forth, but like riff, solo, riff, like that. I like it. It's fun. Finally, a fucking rockin' fucking song. Letters in the Rain, tribal drum type sound thing at the beginning, and then some shredding guitar gets this one going. This one's got another intense feel to it too. Some kick-ass lead fills in there. Excellent vocals, cool vocal section in there too. I'm sorry, cool solo section in there too. Very shredding and melodic. Steve Blaze, I'll tell you what, he is an underrated guitar player. There's some really good guitar playing, some solos on both of these albums. Heavy ender on this one. I like it, and I'm not saying he should be up there being talked about with the major shredder guys and shit like that, but he's got some good stuff. He's got a good feel. He's still playing, and he's not let himself go like some rockers that we know have. And heavy grinder. I enjoyed the album overall. Fun album. I do like the production on the first album a little better. I wish the drum production on this album were on the first album. I do, I wish you could kind of intersperse them. So if they ever remaster it, I would like to hear that and throw them drums a little more up front there. These guys have some great songs. They really do. A lot of catchy songs, a lot of catchy choruses. Really good listen, but I just want them to rock more. I just want them more up to kick that 2/3 or 3/4 tempo up to like in the 90s area or something like that. I'm not saying do a fucking thrash song or a fucking speed metal song or anything like that, but just like put a little more in there. Like give us something to like give me a song that BC will want to punch me to.
Violence. All right. Lillian Axe, Love and War. I mean, this album got in the top 500 rock albums of all time, 296.
On what?
The one magazine that puts them out, which I thought was kind of weird. Yeah, I like the production. I agree with Steve. I like the production on the first one better. It seems like the guitar is more toned down on this album, like riff rise.
Little neutered a little bit.
Yeah, compared to the first album. But hey, so Love and War. So the first half of the album is songs about love, and the second half is songs about war. But it starts off with All Fair and Love and War.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
See,
I know.
So,
makes sense.
To me, this is how I judge any vocalist in the band since Ron Taylor is All Fair and Love and War when they do this song.
Well, they're showing love at the end there, though. That's not a war.
The Letters in the Rain. It's about death.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what the theme is, I guess. So, anyways, I love the build up in the beginning of this with the synth and the bass and the drums, and you got Ron coming in with the spoken word. Ooh, hair black as the dead of night. She flashed her eyes.
You scared me.
And then, like, after that part where he does that, no, what the hell? Fabulous. I watched old videos from the 90s of him doing it live. Fabulous. Every guy since him, not so fabulous. But I mean, hey, he had a very distinctive voice. I don't care. I mean,
he did.
He does. He still does. I mean, he still plays. Just not with Lillian Axe. But when that comes in, I just love it. The chorus, then it has some more spoken word after the solo. Some Lillian Axe spoken word. Usually we're talking about Megadeth.
Usually it's Dave Mustaine.
But
he copied off of them.
That's one of my favorite songs off this album. And then She Likes On Top. I like the opening riff. It has like, I don't know, echo to it? Some kind of effect to it, which I just think the guitars are toned down in this mix for some reason. The little solo parts after the choruses are good. Decent solo. Sounds like some cowbell. I wasn't too sure. But you back me up, so I like that. Diana, I don't know. This is a skipper for me. It's a slow guitar start. even vocally, I love Ron Taylor. And vocally, to me, it's blah. Musically, just very blah. I'm not saying totally bad, not total shit, but just blah to me. 4, Down Into You. It has that softer start, but good. Vocally, he sings differently in the song. The guitars during the verses are cool. Good solo. A tad bit of spoken word in this song, but not too much. Just a little bit. Track 5, The World Stopped Turning. This is probably the first song Lillian Axe did where you can see where they're going to be going in the future, like down the road more, not necessarily the next album or two. I like the acoustic start, very strong vocals, and like Steve said, I have it down here, it has the Spanish feel to it. Drums, soft drums throughout the song, and then a fit-in soul. I think I copied off your notes. Ghost of Winter. This is a live stamp. They always do this every time they play because they say it's one of the fans' favorite, which they did question me about this. But synthesizer starts, get in the mood. You hear the wind blowing and all that stuff. Little guitars, vocal start, drums come in. It has the harmonics. A good riff underneath there. They have a double album out after the one Steve was talking about. It's an acoustic double album. One Night in the Temple. One Night Live in the Temple, which they do a version of this. It's so much better than this album. Then they pick it up with My Number, which is a cover of the band Girl.
Oh, okay.
I did not notice until like a few years ago when this first came out. I'm like, yeah, cool song. But this is way better than the original Girl version. Because I went back and listened to it.
Oh, really? That's Phil Collin and Phil Lewis.
Phil Lewis, L.A. Guns, and Phil Collin from Def Leppard are in the Girl. But hey, you got the girl laughing. Cool opening riff, good feel, fun cover song. The back and forth, the group vocal parts are cool. Has a decent, good solo. Show a Little Love is pretty much the only single I think off this album. Then the record company wants to know why they do good.
Right, they didn't push it. Nope.
I like the bass in the song. It has a good bass on it. Finally, some good cowbell. You can hear it. And the riff is good. It has a good riff. The backing vocals. A good solo in it. I love the riff behind the solo in the song. Just a good standout on this. Fool's Paradise. Another cool riff. It has a different drum beat. Which, finally, that stands out. And I have down here the short solos. It's like they do a solo and then it goes into a solo. I thought that was kind of cool because it's different.
I like that. It's like not the back and forth soloing. It's like solo into the riff, back to the solo. Yeah, I like that.
I thought that was pretty cool. And some cowbell on that too. Then they finish off with Letters in the Rain, which has a drum start with the guitar solo and into the riff. Ron sounds good vocally on this. Another good solo. Again, I think Steve Blaze is definitely underrated. Not one of the top 10 in the world, but definitely totally underrated as a guitar player and a songwriter too. I like the thunderstorm ending they have. It gives it very moody, which later on in their career, a lot of albums have a lot of that into it. But that's Love and War, Lillian Axe. Here's a band. They came out, and like you said, 88, 89, that's when this music scene was getting saturated. So, and the record label did not get behind them. So, I can see how these guys kind of got... But they always kept going.
I think plus, as well, where they're from New Orleans. You know what I mean? They weren't a strip band, or they weren't a, New York, or, you know what I mean? So I think that might have played into it as well. Because, same thing with Every Mother's Nightmare. They were around the same time. They were from, Memphis, right?
Tennessee.
Them, Roxy Blue, they didn't really get a chance, you know what I mean? It didn't, but good, though. I enjoyed going back and listening to these. Like I said, it's been a long time since I had checked these out, and
totally a long time since I checked them out. And what I was listening to, I was listening to a lot of these two albums. Took me back a little bit in time and brought back some memories and shit. But in Lillian Axe, the first hard rock band to be in the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame that actually put in a rock band.
Yeah. An actual rock band.
All right. Let's rank your album. Which one do you like better?
I like the first one better. I think the production overall is better. Hey, kudos to Robin Crosby. I don't know if I've ever heard of him producing anybody else. And I didn't realize he produced this one until I was looking stuff up for it. He didn't do bad. I think he might have had little blots or blues, drum wise, for the mixing and whatever. But that could be mixing too. That could be whoever mixed it. You know what I mean? But I like it. I have a lot more stars on the first album than I do on the second one, and it's good though. But I mean, there's a definite progression there of the band. I wish he solos a little more on the second album. You get a little more of that, I think. Not a whole lot more.
No.
But I think that, God, and especially then for the guitar players that were out, you think you would want to really feature this guy. You know what I mean? Because what he plays is fantastic, but you're getting into it, and then it's over. It's like, fuck, like, I'm not saying put like make half the song him soloing, but like, just look at, like what Dokken was putting out then, stuff like that. Like, you had the same amount of song time-wise, but you didn't, like George Lynch, like there's a lot of Dokken solos that are way longer than these, and it doesn't kill the time on the album. It doesn't, it doesn't really affect it other than you're really going at the end of a Dokken album, holy shit, George Lynch tears it up, but you don't get enough of Steve Blaze on these albums to, unless you're really dissecting it like we are, what you're going to take from this band the most is the background vocals and the choruses. That's what you're going to grab from these albums the most. And until you get listening to it and hear the kick-ass playing that he does, I think that that's what you're going to get from these guys. Initially listening to these guys is the vocal harmonies and the background vocals. I think that's what is really put out front on these albums. And I just wish that they stretched out Steve Blaze a little bit. But, making a short answer long, of course, as I usually do. But I go with the first one.
I have to agree with you. I'm going to go with the first one too, just because to me personally, there's more songs I get behind, like the Inside Out, Hard Luck. I mean,
I think there's more memorable songs on the first one.
Yes, you can see where the progression of the second album, and then I don't know if it's the time. I think it's the time, the flooding of everything going on. But the first album to me is so much stronger. Like you said, Steve Blaze needs to be a little bit more out. But, I mean, he pretty much wrote the whole second album, except for the cover of the Girl song. So he writes most of all their songs, even to this very day. So I don't know if it's because he's so involved in writing the lyrics and melodies and that it takes away from him rocking out. But, I mean, this is only the first two albums. I mean, these guys have been putting out albums constantly, and they released a little thing the other day that they're going to be putting an album out later this year. They're coming out with almost like a greatest hits,
like a 3 CD
Palms of Eternity or something like
Songs
that.
of Eternity.
Something like that. I don't know. Of Eternity, which three CDs, which songs from all their albums, and each CD has like a bonus track of an unheard song. And then they're going to come out with a regular album later this year, late summer, I guess.
Are you going to order the box set? You're gonna order because you want those 3 songs.
I know. I was on it, but it's from a different country, and I'm trying to figure.
I know. That's a pain in the ass.
I hate that. So I gotta look into it a little bit more, see if there's USA way of getting it.
Right.
It's got to be. I don't know, but whatever.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe they will have some copies of it in M3.
Yeah, because I didn't think about that.
They may.
Save on shipping.
So you can give them. Maybe you can give them a second chance at M3BC. I know you're extremely disappointed in the not the band.
No,
the new singer.
I know.
I know you were disappointed.
I'm a Ron Taylor guy, so no matter who comes in, I'm going to be beating them up. But funny you mentioned that. I was watching tons of YouTube on Lillian Axe this past few days, and they have one of them a studio update. He's singing on the new album.
Is he?
And they show him doing some vocals, and he walks away down the hallway, but you can still hear him in the background. No offense to you. It's hard.
I feel bad. I feel bad for BC.
It's hard. But, hey, I mean, that's the first two Lillian Axes in this series that we'll be putting together. But, you know, hey, let us know out there what you thought of these two albums. Check them out. And then check out their other albums. Don't be shy. And I'm sure Dylan's going to get together a kick-ass Spotify list of probably all of these. Or, you know, let us know. I mean, give us some good reviews out there. 5-star reviews are always good. Check out the Spotify playlist. Check us out on all that media out there that I'm not really good with.
Shit that BC
all the shit that I can't handle. But you people, you know what there is out there. Check us out, and then maybe you can teach me how to check it out. But Steve, final words.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this. I like the idea, and we will definitely be revisiting Lillian Axe, you and I, and probably with the way I literally have shit scheduled into the fall, and it's literally only April now, so we'll probably revisit this maybe November or December, maybe even early next year, depending on what else we have going on. But it was fun delving back into these albums. Like I said, I hadn't checked them out since back in the day. And, you know, a couple songs here and there, especially when that live album came out, the songs that are on that from these two albums, I that's how I became really familiar with them. And like I said, fantastic vocal harmonies, background vocals, and I just wish that they featured Steve Blaze a little more on these albums, but what you do get from him on here is really good. And they're an enjoyable band. There was really maybe like two songs that I was like kind of on, but good stuff though. I'm glad we can dig into a deeper band like this every now and then. Definitely they're not a mainstream band, but they're still going. They've been going pretty much the whole time since they've been out. Steve Blaze keeping the, no pun intended, the flame alive for Lillian Axe, but they have some really good stuff. And I really wish I videotaped BC watching these guys on the Monsters of Rock cruise, because it was funny, but it was heartbreaking to see my friend so upset. But so check them out, seriously, if you haven't. Just to start, give a little starter kit for yourselves. Do All's Fair in Love and War, Show a Little Love, Dream of a Lifetime, Misery Loves Company. Check them out. Great stuff. And then hopefully you like them and get into a little more of these guys and let us know what you think. If you're a big Lillian Axe fan, let us know what you like about them in the first two albums. And if you had seen them with the new singer on Monsters of Rock Cruise this year and you liked him, let us know. Let BC know. So it's good to relinquish the reins and have someone else host the show for a change. And also this series gives me a break as well. Good job, BC.
All right, good people. So that's it till next time. And there will be a next time.